All right, now we're going to take a look at SEC filings. We're going to take a look at an actual company's financial statement and just get a feel for what are some of the items that are required on the 10K/10Q, as well as major items that may occur during the year, such as your 8K, which has major events, maybe changing and things of ownership, etc. Let's take a look. When we look at a 10K, remember this is the filed annually by U.S. registered companies, including an audited financial statement, notes to the financial, your MD&A, which is known as Management Discussion and Analysis, and always filed within 3 months from the fiscal year end. And also, the statements, as we mentioned, must be audited, and there are many more disclosures that are required. When we look at the Q, which is another item that you want to be familiar with, in the Q, this is quarterly filed by U.S. registered companies, and it includes their unaudited financials, their MD&A, and certain required disclosures. The statements must be reviewed by an auditor. Notice it doesn't have to be audited. You can present condensed financial statements and disclosures required for material contingencies and subsequent events. Remember, the 11K is the annual filing of the employee stock purchase, savings, and benefit plan. And you also have the 8K, which is filed to report major corporate events. We also have a notation that Forms 3, 4, and 5 are filed by directors, officers, or beneficial owners of more than 10% of the equity ownership. And one of the items we'd like to draw to your attention is a statement on changes in beneficial ownership. And in this case, if you notice, you'd have the name of the officer, the issuing company, the last and first and middle name and address of this particular person, the date of the earliest transaction that occurred during the year, and then we would actually show how many shares of common stock that are owned, and in this case, by family trust. We have other ones that are owned by a great. We have some other common stock, and we actually talk about pricing of it in this particular case. So it gives you an idea of some of the relevant information. Not that I expect you to see a full-blown problem, but they may ask a question by showing you the form and say, can you tell us how many shares were sold or what date they were sold? So having a little familiarity with just where things are on there and having seen it once is probably adequate for any type of question you'll see on the exam.